Chair lays out on second reading House Bill 2032. The clerk will please read the bill.
HB 2032 by Turner of Dallas, relating to the Health Literacy Advisory Committee and the health literacy in the state health plan.
Chair recognizes Mr. Turner of Dallas to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. House Bill 2032
Mr.
would
Cortez,
Mr. Speaker,
for what purpose?
will the gentleman yield for a question?
Does the gentleman yield for a question?
I will yield for a question.
Gentleman yields.
Hello, Mr. Turner. Thank you so much for bringing this wonderful bill forward. It's my understanding, though, that don't you serve in the United States Congress? Or am I getting
you have a mistaken impression, Representative Cortez.
Who is it? If it's not you that's in the Congress, because I'm almost certain you're the congressman, is that not right?
That is not correct. Proud to serve in the Texas House.
Who exactly in your family's in Congress? My apologies then.
No one in my family is in the U.S. Congress
Previously?
at the moment. Yes, Representative. Previously.
And who would that be? If you can please provide that clarification.
Yes, my dad served in the U.S. House. Correct.
Your father was in the United States Congress. That's impressive. And so you decided to join us here in the Texas House because...
Well, of course, I wanted to serve my district, Representative Cortez, and I'm also proud my father was in this House as well, and I think he had a very good
Your dad served here
experience
also,
here.
really?
Yes,
What years?
I believe that was in the early 1980s, 81 to 84, I believe.
That's an impressive lineage you have there in your family, Representative. We're happy to have you here. Congrats on your first bill. And we can't hear? And we look forward to more questioning here, and we need to have you speak up, too. The members can't hear you. Thank you.
I'll do my best. Thank you, Representative.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose,
will the gentleman yield for a question, please?
Gentleman yield for a question.
Yes, I will.
Gentleman yields.
Representative Turner, this is your first bill.
That is correct, Representative.
Are you excited about your bill?
I am excited. I think it's a good bill.
Are you proud of your baby?
I do feel proud of this
Is this
bill on my desk.
a particularly beautiful baby?
I suppose you could put it that way. Yes.
Mr. Turner, I wouldn't know it. You have such a even-keeled demeanor. I wouldn't know that this is your first bill. So I would encourage you, as you're explaining this bill, to demonstrate your pride and your energy at being on the floor of the House of Representatives. Just a tip. Something to think about.
Thank you, Representative.
Thank you.
I'll be as animated as possible in supporting this bill.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Ashby, for what purpose?
does the gentleman yield for a question?
Yes, I will, Representative.
Gentleman
Ashby.
yields for a question.
Representative Turner, can you tell us a little bit about your bill here?
Yes, Representative. As I was saying a moment ago, this bill would create a health literacy advisory committee to help address the problem of low health literacy in our state. And this is something that has been requested by the Statewide Health Coordinating Council, which updates the state health plan every year. And in fact, this was the first recommendation they put in the latest update.
Representative Turner, if you don't mind, I'm starting to fall asleep back here. Let me change the pattern of the questioning. Does this bill have anything to do about improving the health in your hometown or where you grew up?
Improving the health care of my hometown.
Yes.
I think it would improve health care in every town in Texas, Representative.
And where did you grow up, if you don't mind me asking?
I grew up in Crockett, Texas.
Crockett, Texas.
Yes, I know you
House
served
District
today.
57.
That's correct.
And if I'm not mistaken, you graduated with honors from Crockett, then went to Harvard
You're
for an
correct.
undergrad, Yale Law School, is that correct?
That's right, Representative. Yes.
Well, I just want to say, as one East Texan to another, we're very proud of the work you've done on this bill, and congratulations on the first bill. Welcome to the Texas House.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Wu, for what purpose?
would the gentleman yield for
Does the
questions?
gentleman yield for questions?
I will yield, yes.
The gentleman yields.
Now, Representative Turner, are you aware that my desk mate is Chris Turner?
Yes, I understand that.
And you know who Chris Turner is?
I do.
Okay. Are you aware that up until the point you got elected, Chris Turner was the only sole remaining member of the Turner Caucus?
I understand the Turner Caucus used to be much stronger,
Yeah.
but...
quite a few
it was
illustrious
reduced.
members in that.
Correct.
Do you know the names of the prior Turners?
Representative, I believe Sylvester Turner, now mayor of Houston, served in this body, as I believe did Scott Turner. Those are the other Turners I know of.
Okay. And are you aware that there is a reason there was only one Turner left? Do you know that?
I'm not advised.
That unlike the King Caucus, that they'd all just, go along, get along, every 2 sessions, there is a Hunger Games type of scenario where the 3 Turners enter, 1 Turner leaves. Are you prepared for that?
I was not, and that is concerning. Thank you for letting me know.
Now, granted, if you are the one to make it out, you're going to be my new desk mate.
Thank you for that.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Guerra, for what
would the
purpose?
gentleman yield?
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, I will.
The gentleman yields.
You know, Representative, I got to commend you on your bill that you've come up with. I think it's an excellent bill. Now, you belong to the Democratic caucus, is that correct?
That is right.
All right. Now, you do realize that you're almost ready to join the other caucus in the House of Representatives. You know what that caucus is?
I'm not certain.
The hairless caucus, huh? You're almost ready to join that?
As soon as I'm eligible, Representative, I'll be proud to join that caucus.
In Spanish, we call it the Pelon caucus, okay? And I'll be the first one to sign you up when you're ready. Thank you very much.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Stickland, for
Gentleman
what
yield
purpose?
for a question.
Does the gentleman yield for questions?
I will yield.
So this is your first bill, correct, Representative?
Yes.
And I see that there's been a vote notice put out on your bill. Is that correct?
I've heard something to that effect, Representative.
So is it your intention to force this body to take tough votes that could be potentially used against us on every bill that you have?
No, Representative, not my intention to do that on every such bill.
Why not?
It's a fair question. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, will the gentleman yield for questions?
Mr.
Yes.
Clardy, does the gentleman yield?
I will.
The gentleman yields.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. I tell you what, I've been reviewing your bill, Mr. Turner, and several pages of your bill. I've got to tell you, it's a real page turner, and I'm excited. I'm excited about this bill, but I understood that you're a graduate of Harvard with your undergraduate degree. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you actually read your bill, Mr. Turner?
Yes, Representative, I have read this
and
bill.
the reason I ask, in just a cursory review of your bill, I found no less than 6 misspellings, 3 dangling participles, a preposition completely out of place, punctuation is horrible, and yet your bill deals with health literacy. Literacy. Now, do they not teach the concept of literacy at Harvard?
I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, Representative. I may have a visit with Ledge Counsel about that subject.
And the spelling really is atrocious, but other than that, I think you have a fine bill. I'm sure some of your colleagues up there can help you. Welcome to the Texas House.
Thank you.
Mr. Raymond, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, with the gentleman yield
Does the
for
gentleman
some
yield for
questions?
questions? The
I will
gentleman
yield.
yields.
I say questions, but really it's more to heap praise upon you. You know, I've gotten to know you a little bit, and I believe that you believe in bipartisanship. Is that right?
That's correct.
And I got to tell you, I hope there's a photographer around here that can get a picture of this. You have done a great job of bringing Democrats and Republicans together. They stand with you. I look at them. I see them with my own 2 eyes, from Mays Middleton, oh my gosh, to Sam Harless and everything in between. This is the first time that I have ever seen, I guess they've all read the bill, because I read it. And you are passing for the first time provisions of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, in this bill. And to have, I mean, you've got old Allison, the rookie. You got him on here as a joint author. Price as the joint author, I guess, at the chair of calendars. And you have provisions of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, being passed in this bill. Is that not true?
Actually,
Thank
Representative,
you
the
for
bill does not.
clarifying that. You know, and look at these Republicans, they're smiling. Smile, because you won't be here next session after you vote for this bill. You won't be here next session. Unless Republican primary voters now like Obama. Maybe they like him because he's not in office anymore. I don't know. But I just want to compliment you. This is an excellent piece of legislation. The first time we pass provisions of the Affordable Care Act in the state of Texas. My hat's off to you, sir. Thank you. And God
Thank you
bless
for your-
Obama.
Thank you for your comments, Representative. My reading's a little bit different. I appreciate your sentiments, however.
Representative Blanco, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, will the gentleman yield?
Does the gentleman yield for questions?
Yes, I will.
The gentleman yields.
Thank you, Representative Turner. I was listening to Representative Cortez's question about a family history here. Are you familiar with the house mascot program?
Yes, I am.
Well, what could you tell us about the house mascot program?
It seems like an excellent program that we've had for a long time where we recognize the children of members and have their pictures.
You sound
around.
pretty knowledgeable about this. Do you know any of the House members that currently serve on the floor that were mascots?
Representative, I am aware I am a mascot.
Oh, you are a mascot. Oh, wow. Wow. Wonderful. Where can we find this photo of mascot Turner?
Well, yes, Representative, I think you can find it as you go to the ground level and look at roughly it's the legislature for 1981 that is at the base of the stairs as we go back down to the ground level.
Mr. Speaker?
Yeah.
Mr. Blanco?
May I ask that we recess so the body can view the mascot, the photo mascot of Mr. Turner? Welcome to the House.
Thank you.
You're not recognized for that motion, Mr. Blanco.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate everyone's consideration. I appreciate the joint authorship of Representatives Price and Allison and Coleman and Sheffield joining me on this bill, which should be a good bill for Texas. It's something the health plan has requested. It should lower health care costs in Texas, and I move passage.
Does any other member wish to speak on for or against House Bill 2032? If not, the question occurs on the adoption on passage to engrossment of House Bill 2032. It is a record vote requested by Representative Stickland. I'll give you time to get back to your desks. A record vote has been granted. The clerk will ring the bell. Show Representative Turner of Dallas voting aye. Show Representative Busey voting aye. Show Representative Guerrero voting aye. Representative Smith voting aye. Have all voted. There being 107 ayes and 31 nays, House Bill 2032 is passed to engrossment.